much. All I did was talk about you. Hear your name and I start to cry. There's just no getting over you. Oh
no. Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. What you're hearing in the background is Love, and their first track off side one is My Little Red Book, originally done by Burt Bacharach. Great stuff from Love. Turn this down, and today's video is going to be 15 albums from 1966. Now, when I started doing these year by year videos, I started with 1968. So I should have started with like 1966. So what I'm doing today, 1966, when I do the next year by year video, it'll be 67, and then I'll go back to 74. So I hope that's not too confusing, but let's just jump into it. So first up, this is the Rolling Stones, Aftermath. This is a British version. It's got 14 songs on it. It does not contain the hit Paint It Black. That was on the US version. But yeah, this is so good. This is a recent reissue from 2019. Really well pressed. It's stereo, and it's on a reproduction of the old Decca label. But yeah, it's a great album. Any Rolling Stones fan knows this album. Excellent stuff from Rolling Stones from 1966. This was their first album they did that was all original material. So yeah, check it out if for some strange reason you don't know about it. Aftermath, the Rolling Stones. And up next, this is the Byrds, Fifth Dimension. This is a original mono press from 1966. Great songs on here. Mr. Spaceman is great. Their version of Hey Joe, which kind of sounds a little bit like the Leaves, but still pretty good. And also the classic 8 Miles High. Really good stuff, but everybody knows this album. Great album from the Byrds, Fifth Dimension. I think this was their 3rd or 4th album. And up next, this is the Who, Happy Jack. This is also an original mono press from 1966. This has Boris the Spider on it, which is great, and Happy Jack. I love that song, Happy Jack. It's a great 60s pop song there from the Who. But yeah, really good stuff. Don't Look Away, So Sad About Us is really good. And then the first like mini rock opera, a quick one while he's away. But great stuff from the Who. Everybody knows this one too. So there you go, Happy Jack, the Who. And up next, this is the Yardbirds, Over Under Sideways Down, original 66 mono press. This is great. There's so much good stuff on here, but this is the US version of this album, and this album has 12 songs on it, and this album has only 10 songs. So they leave off The Nazar Blue and Rack My Mind is not on this album, but yeah, it's still a great album. So I got many different versions of this album, but it's a great album to have in your collection. I'm a little bit obsessive with the Yardbirds, so I gotta have multiple copies. But yeah, great album from the Yardbirds. Some of the songs on here are just so good. Jeff's Boogie is great. Ever Since the World Began, Over, Under, Sideways, Down, I Can't Make Your Way, all of it's just great stuff. Yardbirds, Over, Under, Sideways, Down. Excuse me. Up next, this is the Lovin Spoonful, Daydream. This is also a mono press. This is really good. I really enjoy the early Lovin Spoonful albums, and this is on the old school Kama Sutra label. But yeah, so good. Great songs on here. Daydream, the title song, is fantastic. It's Not Time Now, Day Blues, Let the Boy Rock and Roll, which was covered by the Flamin' Groovies, Jug Band Music, Didn't Want to Have to Do It, You Didn't Have to Be So Nice, Big Noise from Spion. But yeah, great stuff from the Lovin Spoonful. I think this is their second or third album, not sure, but yeah, from 1966. Lovin Spoonful, Daydream. And up next, this is Love Da Capo, their second album. This is so good. This has the singles 7 and 7 is classic, like proto-punk song. She Comes in Colors, really good. Stephanie Knows Who, Orange Skies, and it's first press mono on the Elektra label. Turn that around there for you. But yeah, great stuff from Love. Classic album. Everybody knows this. A lot of people have this. But really good album from Love. And up next, this is The Seeds, A Web of Sound. I think this is their third album, maybe. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, great stuff. Mr. Farmer is good. Trip Maker, A Faded Picture. Side 2 just has 2 songs. One's called Just Let Go, and then there's one called Up in Her Room that's about 14 minutes long. But yeah, great stuff. Great stuff from The Seeds, their third or second album, A Web of Sound. And up next, this is the Mothers of Invention, Freak Out. This is their first album. This original mono version. There you go for the inside there. This includes, some of these copies had this little blurb here about you could send away for what they called a freak map, and it would it's like a map of LA showing you where all the hot spots are, where the hippie hangouts are, the cool nightclubs. And I guess on later pressing that wasn't on there, but it's on, it's right there. But yeah, this is a crazy album, great album. I really like it a lot. Hungry Freaks Daddy, the opening track is really good. Who Are the Brain Police? Go Cry on Someone Else's Shoulder, which is kind of Zappa's making reference to like doo-wop, because that was like one of his favorite musical genres, was doo-wop. And they even did a couple years after this, they did a whole album called Reuben and the Jets. It was all doo-wop. But yeah, great stuff. Other songs, Motherly Love, Wowie Zowie, You Didn't Try to Call Me, Any Way the Wind Blows. But my favorite song on here is Trouble Every Day with Zappa's fantastic guitar work, and it's a song about the LA riots in 1965. But yeah, great album, really good timepiece of the 60s. But Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention, Freak Out. And up next, this is the Kinks, Face to Face, including the hit Sunny Afternoon. This is one of my all-time favorite Kinks albums. I know I say that a lot about pretty much all the Kinks albums. At least their 60s output was just so good. But this one, opening up with Party Line, that's really good. Rosie, Won't You Please Come Home. House in the Country, that was covered by the Pretty Things. They released it on one of their EPs that they put out in the 60s. And some of the other songs on here, Holiday in Waikiki, Little Miss Queen of Darkness, and Sunny Afternoon, a great song, a great 60s single for them. But there you go, the Kinks, Face to Face. And up next, this is Jefferson Airplane, their first album, Jefferson Airplane Takes Off. This is a repress probably from 67, 68. It's on the orange RCA label there. But yeah, this is really good. It doesn't have Grace Slick on it. It has Signe Anderson, who was their original singer. But they do songs like Blues from an Airplane, Let Me In, Bringing Me Down, It's No Secret. They do a version of Tobacco Road, which was like a standard song that everybody did in the 60s, along with many other songs like Louie Louie and all those. Oh, and Hey Joe was another common one. But yeah, Come Up the Years, Run Around, Let's Get Together, which is the song that the Youngbloods made famous, and they did a version of it first. And yeah, pretty good stuff from Jefferson Airplane, their first album, Jefferson Airplane Takes Off. And up next, this is the Fugs. This is like maybe their second or third album, I think. These guys were really anti-establishment. They were like ex-beatniks that became hippies, pretty much. The one guy, this guy here, named Ed Sanders, he owned a bookstore in New York City called the Peace Eye Bookstore, and that's it was like a gathering place of intellectuals and anti-establishment types, and that's pretty much where the Fugs formed, was in there, in his bookstore. But yeah, this is they're kind of goofy. They sing songs about you know, sex and drugs and all kinds of stuff. Some of the song titles on here are Frenzy, I Want to Know, Skin Flowers, Group Grope, Dirty Old Man, Kill for Peace, Virgin Forest. Pretty good stuff from the Fugs. If you like anti-establishment type stuff, hippies and beatniks and poetry, this will do it for you, the Fugs. So check it out if you don't know about them. And up next, this is the 13th Floor Elevators. This is a mono edition, Sunday's reissue. This sounds great in mono. This is excellent sounding, but everybody knows this. This is probably, I would argue that this is probably the single most shown album in the vinyl community. And if you can prove me wrong, do so. So there you go. 13th Floor Elevators, a mono edition, Sunday's reissue. And just a few more here. This is Beach Boys, Pet Sounds, classic album. It was this album that Paul McCartney heard this album and inspired him to come up with the concept for a Sgt. Pepper. And the Beach Boys heard this album and inspired them to do this album. And this album in turn inspired the Beatles to do Sgt. Pepper. So, but yeah, great album from the Beach Boys. Wouldn't It Be Nice? Great song. Sleep John B. I love that song. God Only Knows. Like a beautiful song. Just Wasn't Made for These Times and Caroline No. Classic album from the Beach Boys. This is only, I only own 2 Beach Boys albums. This one and Smiley Smile. And I'm not really into the early Beach Boys that much. They're good songs. I don't mind hearing that stuff like on the radio or something. But this album and Smiley Smile I feel are like the only Beach Boys albums I really need. So yeah, there you go. Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. And then of course I just showed this Revolver, Beatles. It's a US, I think a 70s press on the Orange Capital label. But yeah, great album. Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, Love You Too, Here, There and Everywhere, She Said, and of course Tomorrow Never Knows. Great album from the Beatles. Everybody knows this one. From 1966, Revolver. And the last one here is the Animals, Animalization. This was the last, or one of the last albums that the original lineup did. I think this is the last one they did, from 1966. After this, they would break up and Eric Burdon would reform the New Animals and have a more, do away with all the blues, R&B sounds and go to a more psychedelic sound. But I really like this period of the Animals. I mean, I like their later stuff too, but this period is just so exceptional for me. And the songs on here like Don't Bring Me Down, One Monkey Don't Stop No Show, Inside Looking Out, CC Rider, What Am I Living For, Sweet Little 16, and I Put a Spell on You. But great stuff from the Animals, Animalization from 1966. So there you go for this week's 15 albums from 1966. I hope you all enjoyed that. I'd like to thank everyone who's subscribed in the last week or so. Thanks to everyone who leaves comments. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're enjoying your summer. And I guess that'll be it for this week. So take care, VC, and see you next week.